Morning, I'm Mark Totten, the U.S. Attorney for the Western District of Michigan. Special Agent in charge, Kevin Kowalski, Special Supervisory Resident Agent, Mark Civiletto, and then I have two other guests that in just a moment. Today, we are announcing the successful extradition of two Nigerian nationals, international sextortion ring, Samuel Ogashi, age 2, and Samson Ogashi. At the Gerald Airport at approximately 15. On May 3rd of this year, I announced that our office had filed an indictment against these defendants, plus an additional defendant, Aziz, age 19. Also, the proceedings are underway as to this third, and we are optimistic he will be extradited. The indictment alleges that these defendants targeted more than 100 victims, minors and adults. One of the victims was 17 from Marquette, Michigan, who tragically lost life as a result of this crime. As a standard practice, we do not mention the victims in our public comments, but the family. We have standing today two financial investigation and have assisted to you. My right, Oshodi Glover Apatundi Alfred, member Cyber Protection B. Left is Adam Adzi, member from Cyber B. Who have been critical partners, to mention them by name. First of all, I'll mention two people, Nigeria's economic and financial crime. First, Executive Chairman, Abdul Karim Chukwu. In addition, Ace 1 Michael Wetkass, a commander at EFCC Lagos. In addition, I'd like to mention two people from the Office of the Attorney General, Ministry of Justice in Nigeria. First of all, Assistant Director Antoinette Ochiobi from Central Authority Unit, International Cooperation Department, and also Principal State Counsel Pius Akuta, also from the Central Authority Unit, the International Cooperation Department. My sincere thanks to all of our Nigerian partners for your extraordinary efforts in this case and your shared commitment to justice. On behalf of the United States Department of Justice, I want to extend my sincere personal gratitude. Now let me add some details about the alleged scheme and the charges as well, and say something about the steps that will follow. This criminal scheme involved a practice which is commonly referred to as sextortion. I will remind you that these are allegations and a defendant is innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. A federal grand jury has alleged the following. The three defendants, Samuel Ogashi, Samson Ogashi, and Ezekiel Robert, purchased multiple hacked social media accounts. One of these hacked accounts was used to create the Instagram account Danny Roberts, the picture of whom was a young woman. Once Samuel Ogashi had the Instagram account, he used its messaging feature to contact Jordan DeMay, the 17-year-old from Marquette, Michigan. Over the course of a short conversation, Samuel Ogashi, pretending to be this young woman, persuaded Jordan to send a sexually explicit image of himself. Once Samuel Ogashi had that sexually explicit image in his hand, he then turned to extort Jordan DeMay for money, threatening to reveal the image to Jordan's family and friends if he did not comply. Jordan DeMay paid what he had, which was $300. But Samuel Ogashi continued his threats, demanding more from Jordan. A few hours later, Jordan told Samuel Ogashi that he was now taking his life. And Samuel Ogashi, responding through the Instagram persona of Danny Roberts, told him, "Do that fast, or I'll make you do it." Jordan DeMay then took his life. Now let me turn to the charges. The indictment includes 4 counts. We have charged all the defendants with these 3 crimes. First, with conspiracy to sexually exploit minors, the minimum penalty of which is 15 years, the maximum of which is 30 years. Second, conspiracy to distribute child pornography carries a minimum of 5 years, a maximum of 20 years. Third, conspiracy to commit stalking through the internet. It does not have a minimum, it carries a maximum of 5 years. And then lastly, we have charged Samuel Ogashi with the crime of sexual exploitation and attempted sexual exploitation of a minor resulting in death. The minimum penalty for this crime is 30 years, and the maximum is life. In terms of next steps, the extradition process as to the third defendant, Ezekiel Robert, will continue. And as I mentioned, we're optimistic that he will be extradited as well. We do anticipate that the initial appearance of the extradited defendants will take place tomorrow afternoon at the federal courthouse here in Grand Rapids, Michigan, at a time to be determined by the court. As to any further actions thereafter, we will wait to hear from the court as to how we will proceed. I will mention that we will not be making any further public comments tomorrow as we're having this press conference today. With that, I want to turn it over to Acting Special Agent in charge of FBI Michigan, Devin Kowalski. Before I do, I just want to say thank you to SAC Kowalski and his team for their extraordinary investigative work that made this case possible. Working side by side with our Nigerian partners, FBI Michigan delivered in this case what they do time and time again: a careful, smart, determined, and exhaustive investigative effort to protect children and people across Michigan. With that, I'll turn it over to SAC Kowalski.
Thank you, Mark. Good afternoon. My name is Devin Kowalski, and I'm the Acting Special Agent in charge of our field office here in Michigan. I'd like to thank U.S. Attorney Totten for his partnership and leadership on this successful extradition and bringing awareness to a growing crime facing our youth. And thank you to the media in attendance today. Your continued interest in Jordan's case has brought attention to this incredibly important topic. Less than a week after Jordan's tragic death, agents and professional staff the FBI's involvement in our Marquette on a then following the footprints left behind by these sextortionists on the internet, tracking the payments made by victims through multiple financial entities, and working with our overseas office in Nigeria and our Nigerian counterparts, the Nigerian Economic Financial Crimes Commission, to identify our subjects in Nigeria. In addition to all the work done in the United States, personnel from the FBI in Michigan traveled to Nigeria to continue the investigation. It is through the Herculean effort of the FBI in Marquette, across Michigan, at our headquarters in Washington, D.C., in Atlanta, where the extradition team traveled through, and in Nigeria, that we are here today, announcing that 2 of the men who are allegedly responsible for Jordan's death are now in the United States to face justice. And make no mistake, charges of this type brought against subjects outside the United States are rare. Securing extradition of these subjects is even more rare. I could not be more proud of the work done by the Marquette resident agency of our FBI office, who were supported by the entire FBI Michigan family along the way. Too many to name, but I want to specifically thank Charles Smith Jr., our legal attaché, and his team in Nigeria for their incredible engagement and support in this investigation. This investigation required thousands of hours of investigative work and will serve as a frame disrupting. I'd also like to reiterate our appreciation to our foreign partners. As the U.S. Attorney noted, the Office of the Attorney General, Ministry of Justice, the Central Authority Unit of the International Cooperation Department, and I am especially grateful for the partnership between the FBI and the EFCC. They are an outstanding and professional organization that are consistently strong in their partnership with the U.S. government. Thank you for their support and patience. Without their support, we might not are today. I want to take terrible sextortion. People, givers, to educate them and to help protect each other victimized. Extortion cases involving children and teens being threatened and coerced into sending explicit online more than doubled since the pandemic. Extortion can start on any website, app, messaging platform, or game where people meet and communicate. The criminal may claim to already have a revealing picture or video of a child that will be shared if the victim does not send more pictures. But more often, this crime starts when young people believe they are communicating with someone their own age who is interested in an authentic relationship or with someone who is offering something of value. Particularly in the cases of financial sextortion, the offender receives sexually explicit material from the child and then threatens to release that compromising material unless the victim sends money and/or gift cards. The amount requested varies, and the offender often releases the victim's sexually explicit material regardless of whether or not payment is made or received. Same fear they are targeting them for help. It is imperative givers and people and begin discussing online in order and save our children. It's too late. I believe you, loved one, has been financially. First, remember for you. The predator's account form safety feature. Delete or message because it can be extremely helpful to as we put together a case from a or law sending additional images. And remember, operating rarely stops blackmail and harassment. I want pictures. Our partners at the National Center for have a program called It Down that can help their images online. Not ready to speak with the FBI, adult, someone that you are online and need and help you to report. First is a victim trader contact 100 FBI online at tips.fbs.fbi and only should not crime as they in these schemes. I have tremendous respect.
Thanks so much, S.A.C. Kowalski. Let me comment. Thank you as well to the support staff, the attorneys who have worked tirelessly on this case. Their work exemplifies what we try to do every single day, which is to seek justice, ensure accountability, protect children all across the state. Second, I want to reinforce what SAC Kowalski mentioned of the one who might be listening. To those engaging in this, understand that we will travel to find you and hold you accountable. No one is immune. Those who and take to heart the advice here today. And to those who are victims of this, please reach out. With that, I have to Tiff and a few questions.
I have one question. So, his family, then knowing being accused well in terms of not want to come here today and anything like that.
I'm just going to repeat the question because I know some people are listening. The question is, to date. The answer to that is yes, and that's really standard. On our team, as does FBI, and both sides have been working very closely with the. There are things I can't say that are not public yet, but as soon as we're able, that they hear a chance to ask any questions, and that's really important.
You had said that these three alleged 100 victims. I know Devin touched on a bit about how these cases have doubled since the pandemic. Can you talk about how serious of an issue this is and how much you've seen it from your experience?
Yeah, so the question was, just mentioning there were more than 100 people mentioned in our indictment, and just generally a question about the breadth of this. We are looking at all over, and we're seeing it all over Michigan. We're seeing it all over the nation. Certainly on the front of what's happening, and the bread and butter of what we do is invest. Times we're on the side, FBI is on the investigation, but of course, what we really want to prevent these crimes, which is one reason holding this press conference today. The child who carries the phone is carrying with them something potential to really harm them if they are aware of opportunities to educate about the threats that are out there. And so that's certainly part of what we do. And I can mention, we have other acts. Here is Brand, Florida. This was a case that younger girls, sexually explicit images. Sometimes you see extortion. The aim is, as we saw in the case, the aim is to try to get sexually explicit images. That is what was happening in this other case, the Lee case that we're prosecuting. Continue and do what we're out there in the state to.
The process, the extradition went a lot quicker. So more on
a year. Sometimes extradition, and it really, there are a lot of ball, and we just wait it goes. SAC Kowalski and myself, we're really pleased. I think there are a lot of factors that I would say first and foremost, that we're extremely grateful to our Nigerian partners. The investigated the case, two of their we mentioned first we are today.
Yeah, kind of going off of her question as well. It was mentioned that it's rare to have other times that it goes steadily and quickly.
That, but yes, our relationships with our Nigerian partners, not just in the as well, they winners along with F.
What's next to come? What's next to
Yeah, holding facilities is still be a control or remain in the custody of the U.S. Tomorrow, transported to their initial. From the process looks like what criminal. As I mentioned, there is a offense. Which are trying to take forever. They need to keep moving. I think to see what direction they would told that the timetable that in order to be extradited or whether to move forward with the two individuals. Tomorrow will be again do against them and the normal steps that take place in.
that you said? Was there, is that, because I overheard 96 in total.
Are there others in addition to the three that we named? So our counterparts have publicly announced that they have charged 3 additional Nigerian defendants. Those 3 defendants are moving through the Nigerian criminal justice system. So that is happening separately in Nigeria.
A couple more. And that was a question whether they were alone or they were an organization, and if that organization was kind of taken down in some aspect. Can you tell us the background and what kind of?
Yeah, given the current posture of the case, certainly you're aware of the 3 charged defendants, 2 of them today. I just mentioned we have additional defendants. I should say Nigeria does. Those are being prosecuted in their system. Just lastly mention what I initially announced the indictment is that this is an ongoing investigation, and it may be or may not, but it may be more just have to wait and see how it goes.
We'll take the last question.
In addition to charges like these and kind of getting there, like you said, is there anything you can speak to that the FBI is into to kind of these kind of where they have maybe working together that you can speak to on their efforts you may be trying?
So, question, and then SIC, I think you're probably better positioned to answer that question. Is there anything we can say or FBI can generally say about, other crimes? Who think at a high level that you can?
Sure. Thank you for the question. Via 1-800-FBI or tips.fbi. We move with address to try to stop additional negative events, and we aggressively at those, and there's a network mentioned before in the other question. So we invite as much information as possible to come in, which is time, and it's happening all across the country. It's happening across the office, across the state, and our 55 other field offices. We have a very robust community outreach program in which we are providing presentations, awareness districts. Anybody that would be interested in this message, that would be an invitation for anybody listening to this press conference, at least here in Michigan, to contact us. Happy to facilitate awareness briefing. Doing that already. As you've heard today, we can't be doing it enough. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you.